Hello plant friends! I know a lot of you guys are using moss poles to support your plants and promote aerial root development. But sometimes the aerial roots are just not sticking to the moss pole. So in this episode, Caboose shares with us her method on how to make, aerial roots really go like rawr onto the moss poles. Enjoy! Oh, tell me about your moss poles. You're using like these...
Jonathan makes these from floriculture,
Oh, okay.
So you'll get to see it. And it's just chunky soil mix in here. And it works in here because it's constantly wet. If you do these moss poles in your home,
Right.
It's not going to work unless you're constantly watering it. The purpose of a moss pole is to keep it wet so the roots can be like, hello, give me some water. But yeah, Jonathan at Floriculture sells these.
Yeah, I use moss poles, but I don't really wet them. I think there's something about a tactile stimulus next to the plant that promotes it to grow. Because I think in nature, right, like they're next to a tree or something, and they climb up the tree. But yeah, I think keeping it wet does promote the attachment a lot easier.
I made these. These are self-watering moss poles. And these are when they were inside the house, what helped my roots attach.
Self-watering moss poles.
They were holding the water about 24 hours inside my home. So the moss pole would stay wet for 24 hours, and every morning I would water it. And it really helped the plant grow faster and bigger.
So what's the self-watering component?
The self-watering is I would just fill it up in here, and then it would just self-water throughout the day. The PVC pipe, I drilled holes all the way down, alternating, and then I rolled it in sphagnum moss, and this is just bird net.
Yeah.
And then I secured it with fishing line. Yeah, every morning I would just wet it, and then the water would just seep it out throughout the day.
Very simple setup. I have to admire the rooting structure here. Gosh, the roots just went crazy over this moss pole.
Yeah, what I do is when it starts to root, as the root grows, I tie it to the moss pole and then grab it.
Oh, so these are the ties.
Like you see this one right here, this root. I'm supposed to tie it down, and then
I see.
My purpose is to direct it to the ground.
So when you see a new root coming out, you sort of like train it a little bit to attach first to the moss pole, and then you angle it downward. Oh, that's so smart. Oh my goodness.
And the purpose of that is for propagating.
It also keeps the air roots cleaner.
Yes. My biggest pet peeve is when I go somewhere and people's air roots are all over on the ground. I'm like, put it in the ground. You will thank me later.
I think it's yes, I have a couple that the air roots are just like going like towards your face, like
directed.
Yeah, I think. Oh my god, training air roots. I've never even thought about that. that's great. That's so smart.